I'm often asked, how do I know what to charge on the property? How do I know if what I'm going to charge is actually going to cover the expenses, the rent and the utilities? So I'm going to share with you something very simple. It's called the rule of 8. Now, 8 is simply referring to the number of weekend days in a month. Generally, you have 4 Fridays and 4 Saturdays in every single month. Now, why are weekends important? Because on Airbnb, they always book. You're not guaranteed that every weekday will, but on the weekends, you know those are going to be your most valuable days. So if you can calculate in advance what it's going to take to cover your rent on those 8 days, you know that everything after that's going to be gravy. So as an example, if we take a $1,200 a month rental and we divide by 8, that's $150 a night. So when you list that on the site and you charge $150 per night on Fridays and Saturdays, you know that as soon as your weekends are booked, you just paid the entire rent on the property. Now, granted, you may have some expenses for utilities, but that's going to be paid in another couple days that you book. For example, a couple weekdays. Now, even if you're charging less than $150 on the weekdays, let's say it's $100 per night, well, a couple hundred of those are going to go to pay for the utilities, and everything after that is going to be money in your pocket. So in this example, if we book 10 days in a month, not weekends, 10 weekdays, times $100, that's $1,000 in our pocket. So I want you to remember the rule of 8. The rule of 8 is taking the rent on a property and dividing it by 8. We come up with that number and we know what we're going to charge on the weekend as a minimum to cover our rental expense. So the first of the 5 L's is location. The second L is lease. And the third L is make livable. We got to get this property ready for guests. And the fourth L is list. And the final L, and perhaps the most important, is leverage. I'm going to teach you how to leverage other people's time to be able to free up your own. I define leverage as using other people and the services they offer as a way to remove myself from the day-to-day operations. You cannot scale a BNB business if you're doing it all yourself. And in fact, I would tell you to do almost nothing. The main areas I want you to leverage are: number 1, cleaning. I don't want you making beds. I don't want you cleaning properties. I want you to leave that to the professionals. Cleaning does not have to be expensive, and it takes a lot of your time. So the first thing that we're going to do is find a service that will clean our B&Bs for us.
I plan on having my maids clean everything at the house and do all the laundering at the house. They will work from 11 to 4. And I'm actually interviewing a bunch of these folks throughout the week. We may see one come in shortly. So I'm interviewing the maids, interviewing the maintenance guys. I'm getting a lot of luck. I put the ad out on Craigslist and we have a lot of good response. So I've kind of staggered all these appointments throughout the day over the next 3 days. And then in the final days to come next week, when I plan to be ready to go, I will walk through with the maids and go step by step through the procedures that I wish for them to follow. I hope this goes off without a hitch, and we get a lot of happy guests coming throughout the up and coming months. A lot of good things, a lot of good reasons for people to come visit. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this all develops.
Number 2, a handyman. We're going to need somebody who's on call and ready to go if something were to go wrong. If something breaks or something needs to be fixed for a guest, you don't need to be the one doing that. Make sure your handyman is super communicative and is ready to go on a moment's notice. And the third and most important way to leverage is to use your virtual front desk. Your virtual front desk is your version of a front desk that you would see at a hotel. As you start getting a bunch of B&Bs, you are going to be running essentially your own hotel. But the difference is your rooms are going to be all over town. So I don't want you to be the front desk manager. I want you to hire that out. Now this person is not only going to take care of the guest requests, as in, I need more towels, they're also going to communicate with your guest every time a question comes up. So once you're able to leverage these teams, you can remove yourself from the operations of your own B&B.